The corner of Memorial Avenue and Main Street in Manchester will be seeing a few changes taking place over the coming year if plans for a long-delayed overhaul of the street that runs past Manchester Elementary Middle School and connects to School and Bonnet Streets finally gets approval, funding, and a green light to begin construction. There's two parts to it, actually, one of which will be handled by the Taconic and Green Regional School District and involves some changes to the layout of the parking areas and recreation spaces around the school. The other is a Manchester Town project that aims to create more parking spots and improve the safety for students being dropped off or picked up at the start or end of the school day. Memorial Avenue has long been regarded by parents, school officials, and town officials as a bad congestion spot in the mornings and afternoons when school is in session and many students are being picked up or dropped off there, or walking across the street from a parking area behind the buildings that house the Walgreens and the Habitat for Humanity's retail shop. Several plans for fixing the flow of traffic and the safety of students have been floated in recent years, but a new one discussed at the Manchester Select Board meeting on November 12th may finally have some traction. Manchester Town Manager John O'Keefe and Christine Haskins, a vice president of the engineering and design firm Dufresne Group, walked us through some of the proposed changes.
So right now we're still working on details. You can see there's a couple problems here though. The one is that the sidewalk comes right in. You can see the pedestrian landing pad there, and then next to that is a curb cut. So cars, I wish there was one that was coming in right now, but cars will come in and cut the corner and go right to the pumps. So it's really hard for us to maintain a sidewalk here. This is a similar situation to what we fixed down in front of Price Chopper, where you had a sidewalk and a curb cut sharing the same space. So we're still looking at this solution here. The original concept had two lanes of traffic coming out. We think it's possible to do that with just one lane, given what the changes that we're making further back. But those are the changes on that side. And then on this side, one is to eliminate these parking spots, but create a lot more parking opportunity in another part of the concept. And then bumping out the crosswalk here. So the crosswalk would come out further out here, and on the other side further out there. And I think we're straightening it out too, right, Chrissy?
Yes, so the crosswalk will be straighter, more perpendicular to the road, and this will create more of an entrance to the downtown area. So right now the entrance is further down by Ty Basil. That's kind of where it narrows up and people slow down. So ideally this would be the new narrowing up spot where people are starting to slow down here.
In addition to a wider sidewalk in front of MEMS and an improved crosswalk at the intersection of Main and Memorial, the road would divide and one branch would lead into the parking lot and the other on towards the school for drop-offs. Parents dropping off kids at the school would then continue on towards School and then Bonnet Street. Likewise, School Street would terminate where it currently meets up with Memorial Avenue. Working out an agreement with the real estate company that owns the Walgreens building on the reconfiguration of the parking lot seems to be moving forward, said Kirk Moore of BMA Architects.
Yeah, basically it's a real simple issue, and that is that the Keelan company that owns the Rite Aid, or the now Walgreens Plaza, has two parcels of land. One is where the Walgreens sits, and the second parcel is basically a right-of-way parcel that connects Memorial Ave to the back of the Walgreens area, as well as the People's Bank drive-through. So then the town owns a parcel directly behind Walgreens, and the objective is to create a shared parking area behind Walgreens. It requires both parties, the town as well as the Keelan company, to work together on that solution, and now we're working towards that. We hopefully will have a solution worked up in the next month or so.
The municipal parking lot needs refurbishment, and once upgraded, would help solve a tight parking problem in downtown Manchester, Town Manager John O'Keefe said.
In order to get enough depth here for 4 rows right now, you can see here, actually this is a pretty good example because it's pickup time. We've got one functional row here. Then we've got this huge chasm here that's way more, and then you've got kind of a row of parkers over here that have roughed themselves in, and then all the area in front of Walgreens, which is this town property, isn't being used. So somewhere in here we need to figure out how we can get 4 rows of parking. One over here, a double row in the middle, and then one row over by the Walgreens area, and that would allow us to really use this parking lot much better, both for MEMS pickup and drop off and special events, but especially for downtown parking right now on Main Street especially is where we feel like we really need more parking.
Meanwhile, the school district is also hoping to move ahead on moving a basketball court and converting that space into more parking area, while making a few other improvements, said School Superintendent Jacqueline Wilson.
For the school, the school has had put aside close to a $250,000. We've had it in our reserve fund because we know that we need to redo our parking lot, the teacher parking lot. So we already have money set aside to do that. The other thing we would do on the school side is, if you know the area, you know that there's a basketball court that's right, as you're looking at the school, right to the left. Kids have to cross the parking lot to go there. That's another safety concern. We would relocate that basketball court, and all of that, the playground, middle school playground, and the basketball court all gets relocated to the back of the school, where now we have some fields. It gets located back there, and the current basketball court gets turned into a visitor parking lot. The beauty of this change in this plan would be that if we're able to relocate the basketball court and relocate where the middle school students have recess right now, and we put that all in the back of our building, it allows us to use Bowen Field, which is a regulation field right there, which really takes a beating because it also uses a playground field. It's going to allow us to really maintain that as a quality playing field. And right now, our students anyways play most of their games over at the rec, and we have access to rec fields, so we're in a good location that's easy for us to have our games there. And those are conversations I've had with the town manager too.
The eventual price tag for the municipal portion of the project is reckoned to be less than the $1.5 million that was expected to be spent under a previous version of the plan, which included a road going around the playing field across the street from MEMS. Both school and town officials would like to get the work done over the summer to have the new layout ready for the start of the next school year. For the GNAT-TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.